Hare Krishna. Very warm welcome to all of you to this Sunday evening session. Yeah. So in Delhi, it's like bright Sunday. So let us start by invoking the blessings of our acharyas. Om Jnanatiminandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांतो राधा कांतो नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वंशागल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. Just a second. Yes, so basically, welcome all of you, and I think this is the fifth session. So we have discussed till 29th verse of Bhagavad Gita. So I will just quickly summarize what we have discussed, and then we'll move to we'll try to fast track the first chapter because we have already spent four sessions for introduction and first chapter. Yeah. So this is the 28th verse. Arjuna vacha drishtvevam swajanam Krishna yujutsam samupasthitam siddhanti mam gatrani mukam ja parishishyati. So yujutsam means in a fighting spirit. So Arjuna says, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. So here we discussed that the qualities of Arjuna, right? Like without understanding the qualities of Arjuna, we cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna is an elevated soul who has received a lot of spiritual gifts from his teachers like Dronacharya, Bhishmadev. He is actually the son of Indra. So he has received many spiritual benedictions from these great personalities. And after basically when he is on the battlefield, he asks Krishna to take the chariot in between Kauravas and Pandavas, Bhishma, Drona, Pramukta. So immediately Krishna takes the chariot in front of Dronacharya and Bhishma Dev. So, and we discussed this that this was done by Krishna deliberately because he wanted to pull out the insecurities and material attachments of Arjuna. And similarly, in our lives also, we will find this thing that this naughtiness Krishna will do. That when we follow the process of devotion and spirituality, he will deliberately uh, put us in such situations where our material attachments, where our weaknesses of hearts are revealed, because he is doing similar thing with the great souls like Arjuna. So Arjuna is basically, he's seeing now his teachers, his relatives, and basically Arjuna is a very qualified person, and this is a very genuine doubt that he's saying that all these people, they are yuyutsam, they are in a fighting spirit. So they are ready to fight, they are ready to kill. And we all know that there are no winners in a war, right? So everybody gets killed, and like so many ladies lose their husbands and all those things. So many there is like disturbance in families after the war ends. So that Arjuna could see, Arjuna could envision, because he was a qualified leader also. And that's why, seeing that, envisioning the end of the war, he's feeling anxious. He's actually, his limbs are quivering and his mouth is drying up. So in the purport, Prabhupada says that Arjuna is a very kind devotee, and that's why these are general human emotions, human feelings, which Arjuna is which Arjuna is displaying in front of Krishna. Yeah, and the next verse, Veputuscha sharire me romoharchascha jayate gandivam samsramsate hastat tyakcheva paridahyate. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. So basically, these are all the symptoms of anxiety, fear, trauma, right? And in the purport, Prabhupada is writing that similar like trembling and excitement can be felt in devotion also. So in devotion also there are levels like Ado Shraddha, Tatak Sadhu Sangha, Tato Bhajana Kriya. So first we have faith. So since all of you have faith, that's why all of you are here to learn more about Bhagavad Gita. And when we have faith, then we associate with like sadhu sangha. And when we associate with sadhus, then actually we understand that what is the condition of our heart. Our heart is conditioned with lot of contaminations. So when we associate with sadhus, we open our heart to sadhus, we ask questions, we serve them, we hear from them submissively. Then actually when we receive the sound vibration and their Krishna consciousness in our hearts, then actually our heart becomes starts purifying. So that process of purification starts, and that is called anartha nivritti. So adho shraddha, tatak sadhu sangha, tato bhajana kriya, tato anartha nivritti syat. So when you do bhajan kriya, this is bhajan kriya. Basically, we are discussing Bhagavad Gita. We are basically motivating questions. So we are answering, giving answers. So all this is bhajan kriya because that is meant for glorification of God. And when we do this bhajan kriya, then something moves in our heart. Our heart becomes like some purification takes place. So that is anartha nivritti. And when anartha nivritti is completed, we reach the nishtha stage. And beyond nishtha, there is asakti, there is ruchi, and then asakti, then bhava, and then prema. So this is the actually the ladder of bhakti, which is actually the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So in 15th chapter, Krishna is telling this that. सर्वस्य चाहम हृदि सन्निविष्टो मक्ता स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोनोञ्च वेदेश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदांत कृत वेद विदेव चाहम. So Vedant Krit Ved Videva Chaham. So all the Vedas are written by Krishna, are given by Krishna. So all the Vedas are the breathing of the Lord. But the essence of Vedas is to know Krishna. So that is the essence. And that we will see as we like move along the chapters of Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna will come to this point that devotion is the highest process in nine, that is displayed in the ninth chapter and the 12th chapter, which are like the meat of the sandwich. Like so, Bhagavad Gita is like a sandwich that there are first six chapter is the first bread, and last six chapter is the second bread, and the middle six chapters, which comprises most of the most important essence of Bhagavad Gita, that is like the stuffing, which is the most delicious one. So whenever, for example, whenever we want to sell a diamond, we don't show the diamond so easily to the seller. We take him to basically to some hidden room, right? Some tijori where we get the keys and then open the tijori with the keys, and then we show the diamond. So that's how like Krishna is also showing this basically this essence of Bhagavad Gita will be eventually revealed in the later chapters. And here Prabhupada is saying that when we reach that pinnacle, that when we reach bhava and prema, then also these trembling can be exhibited. But right now the trembling which is exhibited by Arjuna, that is on the material platform, which is more of an anxiety and fear of not fighting, and fearing the consequences of the battle. Yeah. So the next verse is न च शक्नोमि अस्थातुं ब्रह्मतीव च मे मना nimittani च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव. I am now able to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. So yeah. So would anybody like to read? Like Kiran, you would like to read this purport if you are there. Okay, I think she's busy somewhere. So anybody else? Vishal, you want to try? Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I can try that, right? I can read it, sure. So I should read the purport?
Yes, yes.
Sure. Due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on the account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayain dvai,
Bhayam Dvitiya Abhivineshya.
Bhaying such fearlessness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by a material condition. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverse in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimittani viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self interest by Krishna's will. One's real self interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditional soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him.
Thank you very much, Vaishali. Yeah, so here we see that there is a very big gap between the reality and the expectation. So Arjuna's expectation is that he will enjoy the kingdom with his relatives, but the reality is that all the relatives are there in front of his party, and he is going to kill all of them. So there is no chance of him enjoying the kingdom with his relatives. So there is a very big gap between the expectation and reality. And uh, in our life also, I think we face these situations very often. So I will give you an exercise here. So this nimittani vipritani is a very very famous uh, like famous words, and this slogan, these words are very important and very very often quoted by Bhagavad Gita speakers. So this is some analogy which is represented by this slide. So if anybody can decipher this. Yeah, Tushar, you want to try?
Yeah, I think this is more like so. I mean, to say it in plain words, because we are bound to, like, as a part of this universe. God made us to do certain tasks in our life. We are here to do something, but on in return of that, we expect salary, and we bind it to the happiness. And when we do not get the salary, like for our duties, we tend to get frustrated. I think it's more like, this is like more, what do you say, materialistic things. We are just linking our duty, our responsibility as a human in this world. We're linking it to things which gives us superficial happiness, or that
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, thanks, Tushar. You are very close. And actually, this is the thing. So nimittani means becoming an instrument, and vipritani means a reversal. So reversal here refers to, basically, suppose you are expecting something, that an increment will happen or promotion will happen, and suddenly you are fired. So this is a reversal. And these types of things happen very often in scriptures. For example, we have Dhruv Maharaj's story in Bhagavatam. So there, Dhruv Maharaj just wanted to like lie down in the lap of his father, and his stepmother, he told that, since you are not born of my womb, you are not allowed to sit in your father's lap. So this was like a trauma, like a reversal for Dhruv Maharaj. And Dhruv Maharaj became so angry. Like, he was only 5 years, and you can just imagine that a boy of 5 years, he hears something like this, that he can't even touch his father. So that was like a like reversal for him, and that's what basically led him to the forest. And then his own mother counseled him very nicely to achieve Vishnu. So that's why he went to forest. So these reversals are very very common in our life also. Sometimes we expect something, that something has to happen in a certain way, and suddenly the opposite happens. And that's what is happening with Arjuna also, that Arjuna wants actually to enjoy the kingdom with his relatives, and instead he has to kill his relatives. So the opposite is the reality, and the expectation is the opposite. So here also in this slide, we can see that when we do our occupational duty, we do it with an expectation that there will be some salary at the end of month. And when we get the salary, we get a subtle happiness, right? Everybody knows, like, when we get that figure, that something in our mind, some sanskara is pacified. okay, we got the salary, that is very nice, some happiness will be there on the settled level. So like this, and then once we get the salary, then again we continue our job, and then again there will be an expectation, because that sanskara is there, that at the end of this month there will be a figure which will come into our bank. So this that sanskara is actually very very much deepened, and basically a lot of nourishment is provided to that sanskara by the continuous salary. But suppose in this flow, that if we are expecting salary and suddenly we get fired, so then there is total frustration. So this is nimittani vipritani, that we are expecting salary, but instead we got fired. And many, like I think this situation happened in like many companies recently in last 3 4 months. So why these things happen and how to get over these things, that Bhagavad Gita will tell us, that how we can overcome and how we can understand with a spiritual conception of life, that what is happening, why it is happening, and what is the solution uh, to basically come over it. Yeah, Tushar, you have a question.
So my question is more like, as a human, because also we are called humans because we do not have that superior abilities to be able to overpass all the feelings and this different form of emotions. So my question is, like suppose something happens suddenly, right? So we are bound to get shocked, we are bound to react, and we probably, it can be also called as frustration, or it can also be called as shocking. Of course, things change for someone if something happens. um, but like, just for example, there is a common person who is not linking his work or job to the salary, but he has a sense of responsibility to his family members and stuff like that. Now he's pretty much okay with minimum salary as well. Now the thing is, he is affected somehow, anything happens for that matter, and he stops receiving that salary. It will be a shock for him, probably frustration. So at such times, how do you suggest to, like, overcome this kind of situation? I mean, of course, the person who is doing genuinely his work and stuff in his life, as a sense of responsibility towards superior goals, should be able to find something. But for that moment itself, for a period of time, he would be struggling and he would be unhappy and not in the right position to deal with these things. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, so basically that's a very like pertinent question and very realistic question. And I think we have discussed this about react versus respond. And even if you see this, so all the stories which are there in scriptures, those are not actually only stories. Those are not mythologies. Those are also real events. And similar question actually Dhruv Maharaj is asking to his mother. So first thing his mother tells him is that uh, don't speak any harsh words to anybody. I understand that you are angry, but these situations will come and go. Here today, gone tomorrow. So right now you might be angry, but tomorrow you might not be angry. You might be happy in something else. So we have to see things in a broader picture. Basically, that I am a soul, and I have an eternal relationship with Krishna. And right now, so there will be some negative emotions, but there is a way to basically deal with those negative emotions, that we can understand that we are not those negative emotions. If I ask you who you are, then what will be your answer?
um, so if, I mean, in terms of, I would say a good person, more I mean, if it's about being a good human, then I would say a good human. And in terms of
Yeah,
emotions, a good, more compassionate. And I would like to be grounded and do things and be close to, low.
yeah,
I mean, be close to the earth. I would say that way.
yeah, correct. Yeah, that's a good feeling actually. And then like we understand that these negative emotions, they might be here today, but tomorrow it might not be there. And I'm sure that all of us have gone through these phases. For example, Vaishali was also asking something disastrous happened. So in my case also, I have gone through these phases. Like I came back from US to India, like leaving my PhD. At that time, I did not have any job for 2 months. So these phases will be there, But we have to understand that like God has created so many things, like there is some service for us which is waiting for us, and only thing from our part is to like we have to endeavor and we have to explore those options. We should not sit idle. We should try to compose ourselves and try to get over those negative emotions and bring all those resources like the family and the good mentors, good guides whom you can discuss these situations with, and then come to an equilibrium and then start endeavoring for the options which might be there for you. So like this, we have to take a practical approach in life. Like we should not be like bogged down too much, because this is a part of life. Like some things will happen, and then so this life is full of happiness and distress. And Krishna is telling in the second chapter to Arjuna also to tolerate these happiness and distress. Like during distress, don't be too much bothered about the distress, and during happiness also don't be too much bothered by the happiness. Don't become too much happy also. Sukheshu anudvignamana, dukheshu vigata spriya, vitaraga bhakroda, stitadir munirichyate. So in the second chapter, stitadir muni, this is the first characteristic of this stitadir muni, that dukheshu anudvignamana and sukheshu vigata spriya. So when some distress comes, then his mind is not disturbed. And then sukheshu vigata spriya. When happiness comes, then he doesn't become too much overwhelmed or bogged down by that happiness, that he will like travel in those waves. So he understands that this is part of life, that this is Krishna's mercy. God, I deserved it, that's why God has given it. So yeah, so everything is happening by sanction of Krishna, and like this karma nivadikaraste verse is also there. So basically this the slide which I showed, that is clearly deviating from the karma nivadikaraste verse, right? So this verse is there, karma nivadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan ma karma phal hetur burma te sangost akarmani. So we have the right to work, but we don't have the right to fruits. So you did your part whenever you like you were there in that situation, but somehow the results were not up to the expectation, and somehow or the other you have to accept that. So you have to bring acceptance. Uh, and when you accept that fact, then you become ready to fight for the next milestone, for your next page in your life. So acceptance is very important, because these tribulations will like come and go. In the life of Pandavas also, like there were so many tribulations. Like they were made to burn in the like Lakshagraha, and they were yeah, in the forest they found so many obstacles. And similar question Yudhishthir Maharaj is also asking Bhishma Dev on, when Bhishma Dev is lying on the bed of the arrows, that I have killed so many people in Mahabharat, that I'm feeling very very guilty, and like so many difficulties have come. So I really I'm filled with negative emotions. But then Bhishma Dev says that like this verse is there in the ninth chapter of first canto, that aho kastam aho anyayam yad yuyam dharma nandana jivitum narahat klishtam vipra dharma achyutashraya. So these three things, if you follow, Vipra, Dharma, and Achyutashraya. So if you take shelter of the Lord, if you take shelter of seek counsel from Brahmanas, and you have a theistic conduct. Theistic means you know by some, you know some assimilation of Shastra, and you are trying to abide by Shastra. So dharma rakshati rakshata. So Bhishmadev is saying that when these three things are there, Vipra, Dharma, and Achyutashraya, then you can be sure that Krishna himself is doing everything. So whatever problems is arranged, that is personal intervention of Krishna in their life. This consolation Bhishmadev is giving to Yudhishthir. And even Krishna could not pacify Yudhishthir Maharaj. And that's why somehow this situation was being brought up, and Yudhishthir Maharaj was taken to Bhishmadev. So somehow we also have to process these things in that way. Like you can read more about these nice personalities from Shastra, and then get over these situations, and again basically gather all courage to fight for the next phase of your life. Yeah, that was my take. Is it okay, Tushar?
Yeah, it's very relatable and good. I mean, I really, it's good. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and these times are like best times to take shelter of like higher things, to feel a more higher divine connect. Yeah, and we have been discussing these things only. Like when we feel a higher divine connect, then actually these things will become smaller. Because when you go like after 10 years, 20 years, oh, I was so much bothered by that massacre. I should not have been bothered because that passed in 15 days only, 15 days or 2 months maybe. And again, I was okay. I was like fine. So like this, when you see from a broader perspective, like it's like standing on the top of Empire State Building. Like you see big cars, big like human beings, like an ant. So you will feel the problem very small when your consciousness is elevated by discussing scriptures and taking good association. Okay, nice. Yeah, let's continue. So this verse is very interesting, and I think there is a lot of things to learn that because this bhayam dvitiya bhi. So because spirituality has to come into picture here, and there are numerous stories. Like there is a story of Chitraketu also in Bhagavatam, where Chitraketu was desperately wanting a son, and he had I think 1,000 queens, and no queen could like satisfy his desire. So he was totally like frustrated by his desire to get a son. And then basically Parvata Muni and Angira Rishi came, and they told that we can give you a son, but his name will be Harshashok. Like Harsh means like ecstasy, happiness, and then Shok will be lamentation. So this son will be the cause of both of your happiness and lamentation. And and this Chitraketu said, okay, I need the son desperately, so I just wanted whatever may be the conditions. So they gave him the son, and somehow basically these 900 queens, like some of the queens became envious of this son and they poisoned him. So after 3 4 years, this son died, and then Chitraketu was in total shock. Basically he was totally like feeling traumatic. And then basically Angira Rishi and Parvata Muni came, and they put it life into this they put it life into his son Harshashoka. And then through Harshashoka, basically they asked questions to Harshashoka, that who are you, who are your parents. And then he started telling the philosophy that I have so many parents, I have been in so many bodies. So he was basically like on the spiritual platform, and he was able to see other lives also. So like this, Angira Rishi and Parvata Muni, they preached to Chitraketu in a difficult circumstance where Chitraketu lost his son. So that's how we can see that like these difficult situations and difficult circumstances are best opportunities which are used by sages to preach the message of God, basically to come to the spiritual conception and then understand things as it is. And yeah, like similarly, like that's why Kiran has made this effort to do this survey of preaching Bhagavad Gita to the Googlers. Yeah. Thanks. So let's go to the next verse. Any other questions? Nothing, no? So we'll go to the next ones. So na cha shreyo anupashyami hatva swajanam ahave na kangshe vijayam krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Yeah, so again and again, like Arjuna is processing through his own senses that he will not be able to enjoy with his kinsmen. He will not be able to enjoy his kingdom with his kinsmen. So the parameter of Arjuna was his personal happiness, and in the purport, Prabhupada will write that actual happiness is the interest of Vishnu. Basically, nate vidu swarthagate me Vishnu. So somehow we have to understand that like our real position is service to Krishna, like Jivere Swarupe Krishnere Nitya Das. So when we serve Krishna, when we think about his pleasure, his satisfaction, and devotees' satisfaction, then in turn, ultimately, our senses also become satisfied. Yasmin tushte jagat tushta. So there is a story like to this, that if you basically satisfy the senses of devotees and the senses of Krishna, then actually your senses will automatically be satisfied. And this is the litmus test, that whether your senses are satisfied or not, then then actually Krishna is satisfied. So I will tell a story from like Pandava's life only. So there is this Draupadi, and all the Pandavas were there, and there is a vessel known as Akshaya Patra, which was with Draupadi. So this Akshaya Patra used to give infinite amount of food throughout the day, but only condition was that after Draupadi takes his evening meal, there will be no food from Akshaya Patra. So these things like Duryodhana knew, and Duryodhana was having a like dialogue with Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni is a person. He's also known as incarnation of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is Ashutosh. He's easily easily pacified and easily angered. So similar was the case with Durvasa Muni. So Duryodhana somehow convinced Durvasa Muni to visit Pandavas in the forest, and that to visit after like Draupadi has taken her meals. So that was the mischief of Durvasa, mischief of Duryodhana. And when Durvasa came, so Durvasa Muni is a very, very like elevated person. He might not be like a pure devotee, but he had 10,000 disciples. So whenever he used to go, these 10,000 disciples used to go behind him. So he came to visit Yudhishthir Maharaj with his 10,000 disciples. So all the Pandavas were sitting, and like Draupadi was resting inside the hut. So then he came and he had a dialogue with Yudhishthir Maharaj, and he told that all of my disciples are hungry and I'm also hungry. We want to have something. So Yudhishthir Maharaj, what? So he told, okay, there is a lake here, and you can take your evening bath, and then once you take your evening bath, then you can come back, and then we will prepare a very, very large feast. So while he was like Yudhishthira Maharaj was saying this, he was filled with anxiety because he knew that Draupadi had already taken her meals, and Akshay Patra will not give anything else now. So but somehow trusting Krishna and trusting his relationship with Krishna, Yudhishthira Maharaj told these thing to Durvasa Muni, and they went to the nearby lake to take bath. And then basically what happened was Yudhishthira Maharaj completely absorbed himself in thoughts of Krishna. And as soon as he absorbed himself in thoughts of Krishna, immediately Krishna appeared in front of them. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj tried to tell everything about to Krishna, but Krishna already knew what was happening between Durvasa Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Krishna told Draupadi that there must be some vegetable which might be sticking to the vessel of Akshay Patra. Just bring that small piece of vegetable. So Draupadi went, and Draupadi was thinking that already like everything should be finished. Then there should not be anything sticky. But then she found that vegetable, and she gave it to Krishna. And Krishna just tasted, and she like Krishna felt so much satisfaction, and Yudhishthira Maharaj could feel that. So after tasting that like small piece of vegetable, Krishna told Yudhishthira Maharaj, "Now you tell Bhima to call Durvasa Muni and his 10,000 disciples and tell them that there is a very, very big feast we have cooked, and you will basically to feed you sumptuously." So Bhimsen basically immediately went, and as soon as like Krishna was feeling like he took the vegetable and feeling satisfied, immediately all the 10,000 disciples and Durvasa Muni who were taking bath in the lake, they were feeling full till the neck, and they burped actually. So they also like could not figure out what happened, and immediately they were feeling totally full in their stomach. And when Bhimsen came, like Durvasa Muni was thinking that Yudhishthira Maharaj is such a great personality, he might have cooked such a big feast, and if he don't consume that feast, then he will be angry and he will curse us. He is such an elevated devotee. So Durvasa Muni ran with his 10,000 disciples to some higher planets because of fear of not able to eat that feast which Yudhishthira Maharaj has cooked, which actually Yudhishthira Maharaj did not cook. So here we see that. So this was the pastime, and here we see that as soon as Krishna is satisfied by that small piece of vegetable, all the 10,000 disciples of Durvasa Muni and Durvasa Muni himself, they were feeling very, very full up till the neck. So similar principle applies actually when we start practicing devotion, when we start serving Krishna, when we start chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Then basically we advance and we feel the presence of Krishna in our life, and Krishna will convey, Krishna will reciprocate that what acts are satisfying him, what acts are giving happiness to him. So when that relationship develops, then actually there is no other thing bothering. We know that Krishna will take care of anything else, because Krishna is there in everybody's heart. He is the witnesser also, upadrishta anumanta. He is the sanctioner, and he is the witnesser also of all the events which are happening in our life. So like this is like very very simple principle, and very very important. Like yeah, that's why, like, every one of you should offer food basically to Krishna, and that is the best way to satisfy Krishna. That whatever you do, you offer it to Krishna. Yat karoshi yadasnasi, yat johoshi dadasi yas, yat tapassasi gaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. So basically, whatever is there with us, our family or our basically kids, our all the house, car, and the raw materials, everything is given by Krishna, by God. So everything belongs to God. Even our body also belongs to God. Even our soul also belongs to God. So since everything belongs to God, we should offer something to Him. That is some practical step we can take. And like the most important thing to offer is like what we are taking, what we are eating. So cook something, maybe some water, some leaves, some flour. You can offer to Lord, and that's the way Lord gets satisfied. And yeah, fruits also. Yeah, so we can say that like Draupadi gave just a very small piece of vegetable to Krishna, and Krishna was totally satisfied. So it's very easy to like satisfy Krishna and perform. Just you offer something, and with little love, and Krishna will accept, and Krishna will be happy. Yeah. So let's go to the next verse. Yeah, this is a longer verse, and yeah, we discussed about this. Yeah. किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगाः सुखानि च तायमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्यपितरा पुत्रस्तथैव च पितामहः मातुला स्वसुरः पौत्राः स्वाला सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान्नन्तुमिच्छामि ज्ञतोऽपि मधुसूदन त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतौ किं नु मही कृते निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्न का प्रीति स्वाज जनार्दन. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, and all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers in law, grandsons, brother in law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Yeah, somebody has question. Yeah. Okay, we'll come to this. So actually, this is a very very interesting like collection of verses, and like Arjuna is feeling lot of anxiety and lot of burning sensation in his mind and senses, and that's why he's addressing Krishna as Govinda, because he Govinda means one who satisfies the senses, or one who satisfies the cows. So he's telling that you are Govinda, you satisfy my senses. I'm feeling so much burning in my senses, so please satisfy me. And then he is using the word Madhusudana. So Madhu is a demon, which represents doubt. So Sudana means one who kills Madhu. So Krishna killed that Madhu demon. So he's telling that you kill the doubts in my heart also. So Madhusudana he is addressing. And then finally Janardana. So Janardana means maintainer of all living entities. So basically Arjuna is seeing all the contradictions. He's saying that you are the maintainer of living entities and you are telling me to kill all of them. You should actually maintain them. Why are you telling me to kill them? So like this, like very sarcastically, Arjuna is using these words, and in the purport, Prabhupada will tell that how we should take this. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, to Vaishali's question, yeah, you can in the starting you can maybe offer with onion also. It's not a problem, but eventually when you take prasadam and when you cultivate a higher taste, cultivate good nice taste, then you can give up onion also. Slowly, like whatever you can do to your level, you can do. So according to the capacity, you can do things like, yeah. And you should have, like, right now we are doing these things remotely, but you should have some physical association, right? Some devotee association with whom you are associating. You are going to their house and you are doing some kirtan, you are taking prasadam, and then you are discussing with them. So right now we are just doing remotely, which has very, like, the effect is a little bit lesser, rather than the physical presence. So yeah, so slowly as we cultivate more taste, more connect with Krishna, then these things will go. And yeah, whatever you seem appropriate, whatever you can do, then you can do. And like this, we should be progressive in spiritual life. We should take small incremental steps in our spiritual life. Yeah. Thank you. Good question. Application based questions are always good. Like, you should ask what you can apply in life. Yeah. Yeah, so here basically Prabhupada is telling that Arjuna has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of all pleasures. So here Arjuna is understanding that since Krishna is Govinda, so he is actually giving an order to Krishna that you satisfy my senses. And generally it does not happen in that way, because Prabhupada is also saying that this is the material conception of life. And actual spiritual conception of life is that we have to satisfy Krishna's senses, and not that we are, like, our senses are burning, so Krishna should satisfy my senses. That is also there. That is a byproduct of our activities in devotion and bhakti, when we connect with the Lord, when we satisfy his senses. But actually our position should be to serve him, to discuss about scriptures, to take devotee association. So that should be prioritized, and in turn, like, Krishna will give everything else. So our department is service department, and Krishna's department is the result department. Yeah. So this is more or less discussed in this. So there were, like, many other things. So one thing is, this Arjuna, he has all the, like, material benedictions. He has all the Dhanur Vidya. He has all the weapons to kill the outside enemies. But now what is happening is, like, he's detecting his internal enemies. He's detecting the material attachments, and he's revealing those attachments to Krishna. So that is one more quality of Arjuna, that Arjuna is revealing his heart as it is to Krishna, because he thinks Krishna as if his best friend, and he has a lot of trust in Krishna. So that's why we should reach the second chapter also, where actually Arjuna surrenders to Krishna, and that relationship of friendship transforms into the relationship of a guru and shishya. So like this now, Krishna will help Arjuna to understand what are the attachment, what are the weaknesses of his heart, and how to overcome those. So he will motivate Arjuna. He will give different instructions, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, and he will tell about the duties of Kshatriyas. So similar challenges we also undergo, right? Because we are like, situated in our life. We have duties towards our family members, and we have duties in our work life also. So we have to fulfill those duties. We should not like, pull back from those duties. We should be enthusiastic about doing those duties. And here we see that Arjuna is having negative emotions about fulfilling his duty only. So, and now, like, in the next 10 verses, actually Arjuna will give 5 excuses not to fight. And those are actually on the based on the scriptures, that they are very realistic and actual excuses. But these things we also do, that when we are made to do some duty which we don't like, then we give excuses. We will tell our manager, okay, this is only testing, or this is only bug fixing, so I would not do because this is very boring. So multiple excuses. We will fall sick, or we will do basically we'll go for some holiday to escape that work. So like this, basically we have to actually open our heart more to our manager, to our leader, that okay, this is the reality, that I want to learn something else, I want to learn something bigger, something new, and I want to take higher, more responsibility. So like that, if we convey our enthusiasm to our leader, then he will basically he will soothe our the path of our duties, and we'll be able to fulfill our duties nicely. So this communication and connect should be there with the manager. And similarly here also, like Arjuna wants to develop that connect with Krishna, because he knows that what is the actuality only Krishna will tell. So that's how, like, we should not run away. Like generally we run away from our duties when we don't like them, but that will actually वो हमें हम खुद को ही धोखा देते हैं एक्चुअली. तो वो हमें ड्यूटीज कैसे करना है डिटैच्ड वे में, वो उसके लिए हमें मल्टीपल रिसोर्सेज चाहिए. वी शुड कन्वे टू द मैनेजर आवर नीड्स वॉट एवर वी वांट टू डू. And then even if we don't like, yeah, we are not getting enthusiasm or we are getting some negative thoughts, then we should have more resources like spiritual counselors, spiritual mentors. So those will help you guide your, so they will elevate your consciousness and they will take you out of those negative thoughts or hopelessness or less enthusiasm. So like this, we have to have multiple resources in our life for each dimension, and then move forward both in our material life and in our spiritual life. Yeah, I think I will conclude here and we can open for questions for today. Yeah. Johnny. Okay. Thank you, Gaurav. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So no questions? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just I think Gaurav has attended 2-3 sessions. If you would like to share, uh, how are you like finding it, and anything more you are looking from this, I will stop the recording. Yes.
This is my second or third session, Rajat,
Okay.
and I intently listen to the discussion, and uh, I'm still not able to very well process some thoughts. And in the first part of our chat today, where we were discussing about the different, like let's say the bad time, let's say the current last 3-4 months and how it impacts us uh, temporarily, but in a longer lens of life, that's a very small phase, and how maintaining balance is great both in a time of happiness or sadness. Uh, one particular thought I grapple with there is that while this is a trained thing, like it takes some training to do that, maybe meditation or right guidance, but also I feel that being out there in the society where people have all sort of emotions also impacts this journey to some extent for me. So what I mean to say is that if there is a bit of negativity, it will, even if I don't want it, I know it impacts me. My environment hence and ends up playing a larger role than I would like to admit in way I grow as a person.
Yeah.
Is That's one thing I felt about myself, and I don't. It's a like existing problem for me. I've not been able to solve it, but this is something I think comes very often.
Yeah. Thanks, Gaurav. Yeah. Thanks, Gaurav, for opening your heart. And this is true, actually. The environment matters a lot. So, actually, in spiritual knowledge, also, like it is mentioned that when you hear from a guru, 25% credit only goes to guru, and 25% goes to the peers, like with whom you are hearing, because you will discuss with peers and you will try to understand and assimilate the matter more. And 25% you will learn from the practical experiences which you basically when you live your life and you try to live by dharma, by executing those life. So obviously when we interact with peers and the vibrations which they are carrying, that will affect us, obviously. But somehow, like as we are discussing, that by practicing this spiritual process, you can harness positive energy. And that's why we have started these sessions, trying to get in touch with our roots, with our Vedic roots, through learning and understanding basic practices of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So somehow, like, our aim is to, like, somehow get a hope, get a hope that we can survive in this negative situation also, although we are impacted. And I myself also, like, I can feel the environment, and I myself also gets influenced by the vibrations of the environment. That is a very common thing. But somehow we, like, that's why we have to prioritize these, like, these things which can harness positive energy, and we can stay in equilibrium. Yeah. And thanks a lot for sharing your realizations also, the initial discussion which we had. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I'm happy that you are satisfied with the discussion. Okay. Yeah, Vishali, good.
Hi, Rajat. Again, thank you for today's session as well. So, mine is actually a question. You said ours is the service department and it's Lord Krishna's department to give fruits. At the
Yeah,
same time, I also feel that, as human beings, we are ambitious by nature, right? We
yeah.
aim, we aspire, we set milestones. So, if ours is only the service department and for a very long time we don't get any fruits, it would cause frustrations. In fact, I would think it's a sign of worry if you're constantly doing or working and you don't see any results and you're still doing that, right? In fact, people would also judge you that, hey, you've been doing this thing for such a long time, and like you know you're not really progressing, so why are you there? I mean, being very honest, sometimes we do say, right, hey, this person has been in this role for such a long time. Why are they not moving somewhere else, or why are they not moving to another geography? Maybe they are not a high performer. So it's the result, and it's also the judgment that is associated if you don't grow or make progress. So how
Mhm.
can you just be content with being a part of a service department and not, you know, getting any results? Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Vishali. That's a very good question, very pertinent and very, like, challenging question to answer. Yeah. So there are a lot of things, like, so one thing is, like, this varnashrama, right? So in the Vedic paradigm, we used to follow varnashrama. So where our duties were according to our varna and according to our ashrama. So there are four varnas, like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and there are four ashramas, like Brahmacharya, Grahastha, then Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. So like this, we have to basically understand our propensity. So what is our knack? For example, my propensity is to design. Like, I can create a lot of good app designs, and UX. I want to become a UX designer. And suddenly, because of IIT and all that stuff, I am a backend engineer, and I'm not liking the work at all. So if you neglect that propensity, neglect that knack, then there might not be success. So you have to discuss this, and you have to, like, measure it practically, that what is happening. There might be multiple factors involved here. Like, one possibility is that you are not having interest where what you are pursuing. The second probability is that sector where you have interest and you are pursuing, that sector doesn't have growth. And the third possibility is that due to luck, by chance, you are not getting those growth opportunities. You are in the right place, interest is also there, growth opportunities are also there, but somehow, basically, due to some politics, or due to some something, and by luck, by chance, you are not getting those opportunities. And yeah, Google is a big company, and in big companies, it's like, whenever a new good opportunity comes, there are at least 10 hands to grab onto it. So yeah, so we should have these discussions with our manager, that we should be given good opportunities. And yeah, sometimes these ambitions and these milestones can also be paved out in a mode of service. Like, I think similar question Amoglila Prabhu also answered, that we should be ambitious. We should be, otherwise how will we channelize our energy? Like, as a spirit soul, we are very active, actually. We are full of energy. So where we, like, this process is not dormant. We have to be active, and we have to do challenging projects. We have to solve challenges. We have to help people. So all that stuff will come when basically we are actively involved in challenging projects and productionizing and giving an impact to the manager. That is our nature, actually, that we are coming from such high intellectual educational backgrounds that we want to achieve, we want to see some impact on production immediately, and I'm the contributor. So that we cannot neglect. Whatever propensity is there, we should aim for that. But then within that also we have to like discuss and then go forward. So yeah, so that is also service department. We want like envision, we should have a vision, we should have some like vision that we want, what we want to show the customer. But ultimately everything is sanctioned by God, like whether it will reach the customer without bugs, that you can't guarantee, right? Like even though you productionize it, when customer starts using, then also bug comes. So those things, everything is not in your hand. So holistically, we have to see like that. Yeah. Is it
Thank
okay?
you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Very good question. Very pertinent, related to our corporate culture. Okay, then we'll end if no more questions. Thank you.
Thank you for today's session, Rajat. Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, have a great day. And Mithil, you can access the recordings on YouTube, and I will share the. If you are in the WhatsApp group, I will share the recording link also. You can subscribe to the channel. Yeah.
Sure thing. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thank you. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Bye bye.
Bye.